Good morning, everyone. I decided to do another video for an update on my account. It is April 28th, so that way you can sort of get the comparison. And just like before, we're just going to go through my account so you can see how it's been progressing and kind of how I have stuff laid out. So first we're going to do our research. Not going to go through the economy or warfare trees because I have tier 4 and have maxed those out. So you don't have to worry about that. Here's my human tree. It's mostly maxed out. It's getting there. Haven't really been focusing on this as much. Probably will as soon as I finish my current stuff. Dwarven's taking a back seat in terms of finishing because I don't really need the guild army limit. I already have it in a different tree, which I'll show later. But this was the big thing for me, was to get this maxed out, because when you have your atelier up to max, you get actually 30% interest. So this is an extra 600 gems a day, which is awesome. Elven, slowly getting there. This one's kind of taking the biggest backseat of the main ones. I definitely plan on working on this at some point in the future, especially once I ramp up and switch my tech to infirmary. This is what I'm working on. As you can see, lots of progress being made. I'm working on the level 9 for this, because once I get to level 10, then this becomes a bit easier, these last 3. The other thing I've been working on, because we had a wheel event recently, has been the mystic culture. So this is why I'm not pushing the dwarven tree, because I already have it. I needed it to advance further with this. I figured being able to send resources for cheaper and more at a time is great, but the biggest reason I'm focused on this tree as well when I can is for this stuff, the healing reduction costs, which is fantastic, except it's going to take a while for me to get there. If you want to see my others, here's what they look like. Really nothing to write home about. This is what I'm mostly interested in, just because it's going to take a lot, but of course all my Lavosia is focused on the mystic culture. I did unlock Solaris. I haven't started working on this. This is definitely more the PvE side, with a little bit of bonus here and there. But I'm not totally focused on that yet. Mystic culture comes first. So that's research. Let's take a look at my, unlike last time, let's take a look at my diplomacy and looking at the tech that I have here. So you can see for the blue stuff, it's blue items, it's pretty much a balance between the 3 resources, but all the red stuff is gold. Storage, production, and I was mentioning earlier, like being able to switch. So being able to switch, I can switch that right now, but the infirmary capacity, being able to increase it by 40,000 will help a lot. But we'll see what happens in terms of how long it'll take for me to get things together. And then once I get kind of in battle mode, I will swap over all of my research here into food. Mainly because the hourly food production means I can have more T4 soldiers without worrying about being food positive, and so it kind of gives that extra buffer while still being effective in fights. Okay, next, grab that, is my dragon. So life is gold, mainly because I wanted this, the resources. This is a nice side bonus because it gives me more of a buffer for staying food positive. For this one, for light, obviously, it's for the research. And then the others, you can see the other 4 I'm still working on. So earth, it's slowly getting there. water, wind. Wind is kind of close to being upgraded, and fire. Um, Earth, wind, and fire. uh, Sorry for the joke. So we've got let's see, research, dragon, core stuff. Just to give you an idea, here's the 10%, and then the extra 20% was for the daily 24-hour stuff. Let's take a look at the gear that I have built up. So here we are. I haven't really organized this greatly in terms of like different sets. I hope to do so later on. But you can see there's kind of a balance between the abyssal stuff, the ice crawler stuff, dragon. I just upgrade where I can. Also have my demon hunter stuff. And then at the very end, you will notice I've got some of the war stuff that's really come from events. I try not to invest too much money into this game because what this game does is it preys upon people being impatient. And I have a lot of patience. But yeah, so we've got the equipment there. Gems I'm slowly working on, mainly because eventually I will want to strip all the gems out of my gear and really kind of optimize where I can. Oh, this can be upgraded. I always do that so that way I can see exactly where I'm at. 4 is the magic number, in case people were worried about, or curious about it, I should say. But yeah, especially the military attack stuff, that's just been events over time, specifically the rally party, where I can. Won't show the materials and runes just because it's pretty redundant. Let's go to the heroes. So the heroes I've been working on, in terms of experience, I've been working on Hawthorne, because he's awesome in Arena. He's like the best tank. And hopefully I'll get this maxed out. Also, the trade production quantity is awesome. And then this is a nice bonus for later on, but it's going to take a long time to buff everybody to their maximum status, even considering how long it's taking for me to get everyone to 3 stars. So I'll show everybody the heroes I have, and then I'll show the runes. So we've got Lorelei. We've got Skullrock. Oh, want to mention, finally got his skin to gold. That's a big difference. Did a couple of all-day events. We've got Omar. We've got Brainor. Marina, who recently just got Specialist. Jezebel. In case you're curious, the Star Ninja skin, I still have a long way to go. We've got Atlas. I think Atlas needs a skin, honestly. Bada boom. He's probably my favorite hero. He's really helpful for clearing large amounts of troops in terms of the story campaign. They still need to update his sprite art, apparently. But yeah, after attacking twice, that seems pretty nice. So we'll work on that. Then we've got Sour Rice. I always mispronounce her name, so I apologize. Gargantor. And then, okay, so now we're getting into the, these are no longer gold heroes, as you can see. So we've got Luna is blue, and you can see, like, these are all the paid heroes, but for some reason, they're all green, except for Luna. I've only really invested money into Luna. Everyone else, well, we can ignore Mizrug for a second, because he's just from the Glacial Wars. But everyone else is just literally events, especially Balthazar. Recently, if you do the spinning wheel events so many times, you get some of his soul shards from there, which I think is cool, just because it makes it more accessible to other people. Um, oh wait, I forgot the runes. Okay, let's look at the runes. So, full set of the blessed runes for my big tank for obvious reasons, and I'm really happy that I got to max it out. We've got Lorelei with the Swift runes for the crit. Same thing with Skull Rock. You can see they are identical in terms of what I have there. Omar gets the Resolute for the blocking amount because he's very squishy in Arena, but still very useful. We've got the Ward runes, which I'm still working on for Brainor. We've got, so I didn't really focus on this hero that much, so I've given them the Poison rune. That's probably going to change in the future, but it's not bad, all things considered, just because it upgrades their crit rate and the magic debuff, so it sets them up for sets up opponents for getting hit harder. Jezebel decided to get the Chaser rune. That came out recently, and as you can see, it's not even in the scrolling feature. But pretty much it, probably because I don't have any extras. It came out, and the idea is the increased attack of ranged brigades, and it can be stacked. So I like that a lot, and I feel like because it synergizes with the Star Ninja skin incredibly well, that it's probably the best hero to do it. I just need to get the Star Ninja skin up. So Atlas, it's a tank, slowly getting there. Bada boom, assault, just because of damage. Yeah, I'm not sure where to go with this for her. So I'm just kind of using what I have extra and just kind of working with it. Gargantor block rate, just because you want to be obnoxious in Arena when people challenge you, because you can time them out if you block enough times. And then we get to Luna, who I'm trying to use Blessed with because I have extra, because Hawthorne is the only other one that I use it with, and then everyone else is only going to have 2 slots. I'll just scroll through them real quick. Alright. And cool. So those are my heroes. Let's talk about... Alright, so I'll show you kind of the layout here. So you can see 727k tier 4. I'm assuming that the rookies and militia are because I've been sweeping certain elite campaigns, and so sometimes you get soldiers. People ask me, are you food positive? What does that mean? It pretty much means if you look here, the resource per hour, if that is less than your upkeep per hour, you are food negative. So you take the resource hour, subtract the, or I guess you add, technically it's negative, the upkeep per hour, and you need to stay positive. The reason is that if it's negative, you will slowly start to lose food in your inventory, well, in your on-hand inventory. And so because you want to at least be neutral, because you want to generate food, obviously the fewer troops you have, the more food you generate. But you can see I'm still generating about 1.5 million food per hour, which allows me to do stuff like trading and like buying stuff from the exchange airship. Let me show you the trade real quick. Oh, it's because I was in my my demon gear before. So when I normally trade, you can see, despite it saying the purchase list is 73 per stack, it's actually 79 per stack for me. It actually does pretty well, just because of my gear, which leads me to this. So this is my kind of like PvE, you're sitting at home kind of setup. I just recently got everything to gold, which is nice, especially because this particular piece, you'll see that not only does it increase the quantity, but it decreases the amount of costs needed for the trade production. The construction speed boost is nice. I don't need it though, just because you'll see in a second with my runes. But I have a set for demon, which hasn't really been updated all that much. I plan on swapping out the non-demon items once I get enough materials. Just it doesn't pop up in areas. PvP. Right now, the Abyssal Drum is getting upgraded to purple. I'm trying to focus on the level 60 stuff just because it's maxed out, but sometimes you just don't have the resources for it. And then the other ones for gold, just pure gold generation. You can see that there's no gems in it, just like last time. I haven't really focused on it. And then trading. The only stuff that has gems in it is stuff I already use right now. So stuff I'll have to work on at some point. So battle statistics. I got picked on a lot earlier on in this game, but that's fine. That's definitely going to change once I actually start fighting. So the big thing is you'll notice that my core might, which for those that are curious, is everything but brigade might. Because brigade might is your troops, and you can lose your troops. So your building, your quests, your tech, your player, your hero, your diplomacy, your guardian might, all are part of your core might. So all together, so you pretty much take your total might, which in my case is roughly 380k. Subtract the brigade might, which is roughly 57. So we've got 322 million core might. What that means is if somebody decides to strip all of my troops, I still have 322 million might to deal with. That's because primarily the tech might, which I showed you all my trees. So as far as arena wins, the highest ranking I got, you can't tell, it's 283. Hopefully I'll get better as soon as I get my heroes up to snuff. A lot of this is going to be trading, and you'll see that my numbers are pretty up there because of all the trades I've done and the food supply. So you'll notice the total resources harvested is actually less than the combined amount that I've sent out. And that is because of just my playstyle. I prefer to build myself up and then go out and fight when I feel like I'm ready. Because I feel like you put yourself at a disadvantage if you're constantly fighting, because then you're trying to grow while you're trying to recover from fights. But I used to be a bank for a while, which is the biggest reason that you see a lot of this stuff being supplied. However, that's definitely not been the case as much, and that's because of my unique playstyle. Let's see. City effects, just in case you were curious. My research speed right now is 327.5%. If you are curious how it works for that, we take, it's an equation. I think I figured out the equation. Pretty much it's like you take 1 and then you subtract the number you have there over that number plus 100. So it'd be 1 minus 327.5 over 427.5. And that's the percentage of research you have left. You will never get it to being free, and you get diminishing returns the higher up you go, but it's still useful to have because then you don't have to wait as long. The city gold storage being up, that's primarily because of the diplomacy tech I showed you guys earlier. The supply quantity is a result of the human tree and the mystic culture tree. You can see my daily supply quantity limit, I believe is 2 billion. Because I've already sent out a bit today. My max deposit right now is 9,700. I feel like that's wrong. I think it's 10,700. I'll have to double check that. But it's pretty up there. I get about 3,000 gems per day, like I mentioned before. The veteran cost down, I've been getting up there. That's eventually going to hit 30%, which will be nice. Yeah, and let me just kind of go through this. This is part, the very end here, where you see all the zeros. That was what I was referring to in the mystic culture tree. That's going to be nice once I get all that done. Yeah. And here's all the other stats. You'll be able to like pause the video at any point. All right, cool. Last thing is going to be runes. So, monster, all maxed up. Clan stuff. The only thing that's maxed out right now is Mystic Moon. The Poison Forge will be next. Alright. Let's see. Am I forgetting anything else? I don't think so. So, there's the video. Let me know in the comments if there's something you'd like for me to focus on, or if there's any questions you have as far as the game is concerned. Apart from that, have a good day.